At some point, if you stop showering, things are gonna get pretty gross. We're not talking about a bad smell, which will most certainly happen, but the discoloration of skin, massive amounts of bacterial infections, and something called pus bumps that will all manifest on your body. How long can you actually go without showering? Longer than you think, but not forever. It's rare that someone needs to shower every day to maintain good hygiene and health, but everyone should definitely shower at some point, not only for the health of those around them, but their own as well. Experts recommend showering at least once every 2 to 4 days, but everyone is different, and based on their lifestyle, this number may need to be more or less frequent. Normally, showering daily or even every 2 days is a good rule of thumb. But what happens if you stop showering altogether? How long until your body gives in to the dirt and microbes? Again, this is going to depend on your lifestyle and who you are, but after a while, the same things will happen to everyone's body, and at some point, your bad hygiene will probably kill you. Just as a warning, there is a thing as too much bathing. This is because there are important bacteria on your skin that keep you healthy. They're part of your microbiome, which plays a role in fending off harmful viruses and even helps regulate certain bodily functions. By bathing too much, like multiple times each day, you can kill your own microbiome. This could lead to some unpleasant side effects such as skin infections and rashes. But after a while of no bathing at all, things can get much worse. Although you have billions of helpful bacteria in and on your body, there are some really harmful ones that could make you sick if you don't bathe on a regular basis. These harmful bacteria can be picked up by doing everyday things like going to the store, working out at the gym, or even hanging with friends. Bathing is a good way to rid your skin of any harmful bacteria that it's picked up before they can enter your body. But once you stop showering, how long will it take until things get really bad? You could probably last years without showering before it becomes life-threatening. But then again, if you live in a city or someplace with a lot of people and waste, things can go really bad really fast. For the first several days of not showering, your own microbiome and immune system would be able to fight off foreign invaders. But at some point, they would be overwhelmed by harmful pathogens. One in particular can be especially nasty. Staphylococcus aureus is a common bacteria. You've probably even heard of it before, as this is the bacteria that causes a staph infection. Sometimes this bacteria is harmless, or if it does cause an infection, it can be dealt with by taking antibiotics. However, if you stop showering, this bacteria might be the death of you. Without bathing, the Staphylococcus bacteria can eventually make its way into your body. This may be through a cut or by touching your dirty hands to your mouth, eyes, or nose. After a few weeks of not showering, you probably have picked up some not-so-nice bacteria, and Staphylococcus might be one of them. If this bacteria gets into your body, sepsis or the spread of bacteria in the bloodstream can occur. This can lead to pneumonia, which can be fatal to people with underlying lung conditions. Even if you're healthy, the Staphylococcus bacteria can cause endocarditis, which is when the bacteria gets into the heart valves, which can then cause a heart attack or a stroke. One of the most painful infections of all caused by Staphylococcus might be osteomyelitis, or infection of your bones. This would be incredibly painful, and if you weren't already dead, you wish you were. Infections of this nature are rare, especially for people who shower and maintain good hygiene. But every day that goes by without bathing can increase your chances of a harmful bacteria entering your body and wreaking havoc. So, death by bacterial infection might be what ends your stint of no showering after several months. Although if you rarely go outside or interact with other people, you probably could live many years without your dirty body being infected by Staphylococcus. Unfortunately, there are even grosser things that will happen to your body, regardless of if you leave your home or not. One of the dangers of not showering is the buildup of dirt, dead skin cells, and especially oil on the skin. There are a couple nasty side effects to this. After a few weeks, your body will become grimy, and it's the oils that are sitting on top of your skin that can cause something called pus bumps. They're definitely as gross as they sound. Pus bumps are caused by inflammation of hair follicles. This happens because of a buildup of bacteria and oil on your skin. You can think of pus bumps as really nasty pimples. This would occur all over your body, including your face and genitalia. What makes this so nasty is that at some point the pus is going to have to be released, and the only way for it to go is out of your body and onto your skin. And the really messed up part is that since you aren't showering, the pus will just sit on top of all the other dead cells and bacteria already on your body. This will exacerbate the problem, leading to more pus bumps. You can see where this is going. There's a continuous feedback loop, and if left untreated and unwashed, the open pus bumps will get infected. If you continue on with your unhygienic behavior, one of these infected pus bumps could even kill you. Another skin condition that could arise would be dermatitis neglecta. This is just a fancy way of saying neglecting your skin by not showering will lead to an awful outcome. When dermatitis neglecta sets in, your skin will become brown and scaly. This condition is a natural process that occurs when dead skin cells, sweat, and the oils of your body build up and are not washed away. How long after you stop showering can this occur? It depends on how active you are, but within a month or two you will notice rashes and flaking of the skin, plus that really bad smell accompanied with not showering. The first places that dermatitis neglecta would occur is in areas where you sweat a lot. So, first sightings of the condition would probably occur in your armpits, around the groin, and even under the breasts. This goes for both men and women. Dermatitis neglecta is extremely uncomfortable, but can also be life-threatening. The skin is literally decaying, which means there are most likely open wounds around the area. Your skin would also become more and more scaly and flaky, which could lead to infection. Dermatitis neglecta also has symptoms of swelling, fever, vomiting, and diarrhea. All of this could be prevented by bathing and restoring the natural balance of bacteria, oils, and healthy skin cells of your body. If you allow dermatitis neglecta to go on and develop other symptoms, things can get really bad. The dehydration of the body through the loss of fluids and fevers can throw off homeostasis. After even a few days of these symptoms, your body could shut down, and without medical attention, you could die. This is just another factor that could bring your unhygienic lifestyle to an end after a few months of not bathing. But it's not just your skin that suffers if you don't shower. Something far, far worse can happen just inside your body. Urinary tract infections and yeast infections are uncomfortable in the best of circumstances, but if you choose not to shower, these types of infections can become constant and a natural part of your daily life. Showering allows sweat, dirt, and any dead cells to get washed off your body. This includes the genital area. The more bacteria that builds up near the urethra or vaginal opening, the greater chance of a UTI or yeast infection developing. This would not necessarily be fatal, but it would be incredibly painful. The problem is that if you don't shower and you get a urinary tract infection, the bacteria can just keep multiplying and multiplying. It would be like having one long perpetual UTI, and it can get even worse. A condition called intertrigo can occur in the genitalia, which is irritation caused by skin rubbing together. With a yeast infection, the genitalia and surrounding area can become inflamed. When skin becomes inflamed, it is much more likely to rub against the body parts around it. This leads to intertrigo occurring. Not only will your urinary tract be on fire, but the surrounding area will become itchy, and this itch will eventually swell into a burning sensation. It is highly unlikely that a UTI, yeast infection, or intertrigo would kill you. However, you would pretty much have no other choice but to change your lifestyle and start taking hygienics more seriously. We guarantee once your body starts going through perpetual infections of the groin area, you will give in and shower. If you don't, the rest of your life will be miserable until you decide to start bathing and seek medical attention. If you go to the doctor, it is very probable they will force you to bathe before you can be treated, meaning that your time without showering would be at an end. If you're scratching your head right now wondering who on earth would do something as crazy as not shower for months on end, we are right there with you. But this brings up another effect of not showering. Each day you go without showering, more and more dandruff will build up on your scalp. At some point, the dead, itchy skin will drive you crazy. Every time you move, flakes of dead skin would fall from your head. Then when you scratched your head, more and more dead skin cells would flake off. It would be extremely uncomfortable and messy. And although dandruff itself might not cause you to start showering again, this whole time your body odor would become unbearable. You would start to notice it after a couple days, but then might get used to the unpleasant smell, but everyone else around you never would. And with each day that goes by, you would smell worse and worse. The thing that might actually force you to shower again would not be your own choice, but the choices of the people around you. How long could you last without showering? Probably until the people you interact with tied you down, carried you to a shower, turned on the water, and threw you in. We'll give you a couple weeks to a month without showering before you were forced by the people you spend time with each day. Something to keep in mind is that if you stop showering, you'll have to deal with every single one of the things mentioned in this video simultaneously. You'll get sick from bacteria as your skin turns dark and scaly. You'll have dandruff falling from your itchy scalp as your genitals burn like wildfire. You'll be covered in pus bumps as open sores get infected and cause you to develop a fever. All of these things combined will either kill you or force you to shower. It is likely you could go months without showering if you stayed inside and took medication to fight off infections. You could probably go over a year without showering. However, it would be a miserable, painful, smelly life to live. So it's best to just bathe regularly to save yourself and everyone around you the trouble associated with not showering. Now watch I didn't shower for a month and this is what happened challenge. Or check out Don't Leave Bathtub for 24 hours.